You've probably heard this before. Our ancestors lived without electricity. No smartphones, no Netflix, no city lights, so they must have gone to sleep early, as soon as the sun went down, and surely they slept a lot. 8 hours, 9 hours, maybe even more. Sounds reasonable, right? But it turns out almost every part of that assumption is wrong. Studies of hunter-gatherer communities reveal something surprising. They don't sleep 8 hours. Many don't even sleep 7, some average only 6 hours each night. And here's the strangest part. Humans sleep less than most primates. Chimpanzees sleep more than we do. Orangutans sleep more than we do. Some lemurs sleep nearly twice as long. So what happened? Why would the smartest species sleep so little? How many hours did prehistoric humans actually sleep? Where did they sleep? Who stood guard while others slept? How did a small campfire change history forever? To answer those questions, we need to travel back in time. Hundreds of thousands of years ago. Imagine waking up 50,000 years ago. No alarm clock, no glowing phone screen, no work schedule. Dawn is the only thing waking you. You step outside your shelter, the air is cool. The campfire has faded into embers, and a new day of hunting begins. Scientists once assumed prehistoric humans slept a lot. The logic seems straightforward. Without electricity, why stay awake after dark? Researchers studied hunter-gatherer communities. The Hadza were among those studied, so were the San and the Semang. The results surprised scientists. The Hadza sleep just over 6 hours. The San and Semang sleep 6 to 7 hours. That's less than many people expect. Were our ancestors sleep-deprived? Not necessarily. These groups show few signs of deprivation. They still hunt and travel. They still raise children. They still live active lives. Humans may need less sleep than assumed. Prehistoric humans often slept less than we imagine. But if they slept so little, what time did they go to bed? The answer is even more surprising. They did not sleep immediately after sunset. Imagine the sun disappearing below the horizon. The sky turns deep purple, the temperature begins to drop. A modern person might expect bedtime now, but reality was very different. The Hadza stay awake for hours after sunset. More than 3 hours after sunset. That's enough time for a full movie. So what were they doing? The answer is fire. Fire became the center of life. People gathered around it. They ate the last meal of the day. They repaired hunting spears. They shaped stone tools. They told stories. They laughed together. They shared knowledge with children. Human culture may have grown around campfires. Daytime was for survival. Nighttime was for learning, for bonding, for building society. That's why they stayed awake after sunset. Night was not only for rest, it was also for connection. The temperature kept falling. The final stories ended. People prepared to sleep. But not where you might expect. Other primates sleep much longer. Chimpanzees sleep around 9.5 hours. Orangutans sleep about the same. Many monkeys sleep more than 10 hours. Some lemurs sleep far longer. Then there's us, just 6 to 7 hours. Humans are the exception. Humans sleep less than any studied primate. That raises a huge question. Why? Why did evolution favor less sleep? Scientists point to waking time. Every extra waking hour creates opportunity. Opportunity to hunt, to gather food, to learn new skills, to build social relationships. A large brain uses tremendous energy, but it improves waking efficiency. Evolution may have rewarded that trade-off. Less sleep, better use of waking hours, more time to survive. But there was a problem. Sleeping less can be dangerous, especially in the wild. So how did they stay safe? The answer began with a small change. A change that transformed history. That change was fire. For most of history, our ancestors slept in trees. That made perfect sense. Small primates faced many predators. Sleeping high above ground was safer. Lions rarely climbed trees. Hyenas struggle as well. The higher you slept, the safer you were. Then something changed. Humans learned to control fire. A campfire created a circle of protection. Predators feared it. Insects avoided the smoke. Darkness became less frightening. Gradually, humans slept on the ground. It sounds simple, but it changed human evolution. Ground sleep allowed deeper relaxation. No balancing on branches, no risk of falling during deep sleep. Sleep quality may have improved. Better sleep may have helped larger brains develop. If true, fire helped shape intelligence. But nights were never completely safe. A clever survival strategy emerged. Imagine a small prehistoric camp at night. There were no locked doors, no fences, no police, no alarm systems. Beyond the firelight was darkness. Predators waited in the wilderness. Strange sounds came from the night. If everyone slept at once, the consequences could be disastrous. Yet that rarely happened. Someone was almost always awake. Not because they were assigned. Human sleep is naturally staggered. One person rolls over, another briefly wakes up, someone else is just falling asleep. The result was constant awareness. Researchers call this the sentinel effect. A famous study examined group sleep. Everyone slept simultaneously very rarely. Only a few brief moments existed. For the rest of the time, someone stayed awake, someone was listening, someone was aware of danger. The system worked like security. No planning was required, no leader directed it, no schedule controlled it. Human biology handled the task. It was an elegant solution, but modern people misunderstand something. Living closer to nature wasn't perfect. It didn't automatically mean better sleep. In fact, prehistoric sleep was often poor, and that's where the next surprise begins. Many people imagine prehistoric life as paradise. No emails, no social media, no traffic noise, no glowing screens. Surely they slept better than we do. At least that's the common belief, but reality was very different. Imagine lying on dry grass and leaves. There was no mattress, no blanket, no air conditioning, no mosquito net. The temperature kept falling. Cold wind moved through the camp. Insects buzzed in the darkness. A branch snapped in the distance. An animal moved nearby. The brain constantly monitored the environment. Sleep became fragmented. Had the sleep efficiency surprisingly low. They spent time resting without sleeping. In Madagascar, efficiency is even lower. Many stayed awake for long periods. Yet they didn't see this as a problem. Modern people often panic after waking at night. Our ancestors considered it normal. There was no pressure to sleep perfectly, no clock counting down until work, no fear that one bad night ruined everything. The biggest difference may be anxiety, yet they still recovered their energy. They used a forgotten habit. Imagine the sun high overhead. The temperature rises. The air becomes hot and heavy. This is not the best time to hunt, nor for walking long distances. So what did prehistoric humans do? They rested. Daytime naps were extremely common. More than half of Hadza days include naps. In Madagascar, naps are even more common. These naps were usually short, just enough to restore energy. Night sleep was the main charge. A nap was the quick recharge. It helped them through the day. This explains an interesting paradox. Nighttime sleep alone seems very short. Adding naps changes the picture. They weren't necessarily sleeping more. They distributed sleep differently. Recovery happened throughout the day. Their strategy was flexible. It matched their environment. Humanity used this strategy for millennia. But the biggest discovery wasn't sleep duration. It was where people slept. Archaeologists found evidence underground, and the discovery was astonishing. Years passed, then centuries, then millennia. Entire tribes disappeared. Campfires burned out, but traces remain underground. Archaeologists made a remarkable discovery. They found one of humanity's oldest beds. It was around 200,000 years old. Pause and think about that. 200,000 years ago. Long before the pyramids, long before writing, long before agriculture. So what did the bed look like? It wasn't a wooden frame. It wasn't a mattress. It wasn't a soft pillow. It was made from grasses and leaves. The materials were carefully arranged. The most surprising part came next. People selected special plants. Those plants repelled insects. Bugs stayed away from the bed. Humans were engineering sleep environments. They did this hundreds of thousands of years ago. Another strange discovery appeared later. Archaeologists found burned beds. At first, nobody understood why. Why destroy your own bed? Eventually, the answer became clear. Fire killed parasites. Fire destroyed insects. Fire cleaned the sleeping area. Fresh bedding could be created afterward. It sounds extreme today, but it worked remarkably well. These beds reveal something important. Prehistoric humans were not passive survivors. They constantly improved their environment. They searched for better ways to sleep. They adapted to the world around them. That may be humanity's greatest strength. So how much did prehistoric humans sleep? Usually, 6 to 7 hours each night. Not 8 hours, not 9 hours. They stayed awake after sunset. They gathered around campfires. They told stories. They slept in groups. They shared vigilance. They often took naps. They frequently woke during the night. The surprise isn't the amount of sleep, it's how well humans adapted to it. Humans thrived with this pattern. They did so for hundreds of millennia. Other primates chose a different path. Humans traded sleep for waking opportunity. Perhaps that helped build civilization. Remember this the next time you hear the myth. Our ancestors survived incredible challenges. They hunted mammoths. They endured ice ages. They survived the dangers of the wild. And they may have done it on little sleep. The real mystery remains. Why can humans sleep less than their relatives and still build civilizations? Perhaps we're still discovering the answer.